Neon and Waylay are similar in their abilities and the things they can do. Still, I like to see that it opens more doors, I would say. It definitely opens more doors in terms of what you can do. Now, the informational side of things, while you can hit site quickly, you know, with Waylay, you're able to get that dash in and get out and take quick information if you're being forced to play off of none. So again, that loses that's value, but regardless, it is nice to see a bit more of an aggressive style, especially on somebody we know is capable of utilizing that aggression, who is Garrett. Now looking here at our pistol round, Troy going with a very diverse group, but Ghost all across the board for FIU. Now playing a bit more of an active defense, walking up here, taking charge, Garrett, Squiddy, playing this mid window and seeing if they could walk into some FIU players. No luck here yet. Looking like Board going to find Jin. That was Koivu who would get the kill, but they were together, nearly ensuring it. Mitchie, though, going to take Spectre off the board, having played that A side himself. He was going to have to hold the fort down. Expected that loss. Seeing how Troy rotates here, though. Rotating all together as a team. Squiddy going to finish Lou off there. Koiva getting Ash off the board. Very effective retake so far for Troy here. And now as Garrett gets to move in from that backside, we can kind of see how he's played it. Squiddy taking Amanda off the board there. And then finishing off Mitchie. Really, really clean retake there for Troy. Squiddy especially. Everybody doing their jobs properly. We love to see that early aggression by Troy, and when I say aggression, I mean that confidence to walk up on the attack. That's not something that we saw at all last week. They had walked up, and then they had gotten to a good position right in front of the attacker spawn there, allowing them to go over there towards that C-Long, take out Jin, have that man count, and despite the fact that you had lost Spectre on site, that still gave you the information you needed to know to go and rotate. And if they had not gone and played on that backside of C-Long and had flanked Jin, well, we might have been potentially seeing a situation where Troy has to retake down a man and somebody playing that C-Long, potentially flanking Troy. So again, really, really love to see that out of Troy. Hot shots coming out here from Garrett, looking like somebody had got a few shots, potentially Spectre here. That did sound like a bulldog, though, I will admit. So, unsure about that. Aware of Amanda's presence here in this sewer, Spectre is. Amanda not really making up their mind as to what they want to do, playing a little more passively, looking like they were going to walk up, but, again, not going to happen. Koiva here holding this pixel, waiting to see if somebody will reveal themselves. Lou playing close to the door, looking for much the same here. Ford going to drop that smoke there on from that entrance. Alarm bot going off here for Koiva. Amanda going to take Squiddy out. So it looks like Squiddy was playing that a bit aggressive. Koiva going to take two there. Missed that one. Mitchie, though, going to trade him off. Holding down the site well. Board going to get one more. And now it's a bit of just seeing what we can do here. Man count advantage. Amanda very low. And Garrett coming and taking this space very effectively. Giving Troy what they need to go ahead and finish off that retake. And again, very clean retake. Nothing flashy necessarily. Just good fundamentals. You really like to see that out of Troy again. They had played it slow off rip. And due to the fact that FIU kind of played into it, allowing Troy, or matching Troy's pace, better say. Because again, it was a complete flip-flop. And we've actually seen this quite often. It was a complete flip-flop in playstyle. Troy, first round, going to play it a bit aggressive. Going to walk up on the defense. Second round, nobody even taking a foot, stepping a foot out of sight. So almost as if they're playing mind games here with FIU. Not really being predictable, which is something that you need. Koiva reacting quickly off of his alarm bot there in that C side, able to get himself 2 picks off of it. So again, using your utility effectively, pre-placing his molly here. And again, just going to hold this C side now, play a little further into it. We see Spectre here in a gunfight with Lou there on that A long, knowing that he likes to play there. Going to be taken out though. And now this is kind of a bad situation for Garrett because he's going to be able to get pinched now. But looking like Lou not going to hold that heading. Board able to get a pick there off of the death of Koiva. And Jin going to take Squiddy out there. Koiva now in a bit of a tough situation. Running for his life here. Garrett going to get that pick on Amanda. What in the world was that? Garrett running left and right. Amanda not hitting their shots. Garrett from the hip. No scopes. What was that? I had saw on the map that Garrett was running and like he was going into the line of sight of Amanda. I'm like, okay, well, potentially an engagement here, but no, when I switched to it is not what I was expecting whatsoever. I will admit that was a bit humorous there. I say all this though as FIU takes that seaside. Now Troy, Garrett board together, going to have to do a retake. A bit split up though here are the two. Garrett now taking his space slowly, having to clear his angles, putting up his wall, allowing him to then go that corner position. Board going to clear out the site though by himself. Good way to play off of that pressure. We know Garrett here throwing up his wall, allowing Board to play off of the aggression. Again, I mean, just all these things going on in the heads of the FIU players is going to cause some distractions, is going to allow you to take the side effectively by yourself. Again, Board pushing in. Jin most certainly caught off guard there. And then pushing fully through the garage entrance. Able to, again, catch another off guard. Retake cleanly. Nothing flashy. You love to see that from Troy. I still can't stop thinking about what we had just saw Garrett do there. And I will admit that was most certainly an important kill in the round. Dashing round sideways, you know, I don't know if, I'm not even going to question it. We got our kill. Let's go ahead and take that. We see Squiddy here looking like he's going to meet a majority of the FIU team here. Koiva playing with him. Now, Squiddy taking that backside. Koiva getting one here on side. Almost two, a little bit of damage. Oh, not quite though. Board now coming to back up the push. Squiddy taking charge here. 3 for him.
Great job.
Man, oh man, Troy absolutely is like, and again, these retakes are amazing. I wouldn't say there was not one round here so far where FIU had not been a majority on site and Troy was just able to take it. And again, it's not like we're seeing anything crazy here. We're not seeing any kind of flashy plays out of it. A part of the one Garrett had, we're really just seeing clean retakes, non-panic retakes, doing the simple things right. And I was going to say this just now that Squiddy, oh my goodness, 7-2 already. And I might need to put a little more camera action on him because most certainly he's locked in here, getting into an engagement with Jin there as I say that. Now Jin going to hold this C long, looking like Garrett's doing the same here with this A long, but playing a bit more of a pushed up position, not going to allow this space to be taken for free by Amanda. And Jin slowly taking ground while Koiva is kind of jiggle peeking holding this. He's not holding a wide angle, so Jin definitely able to take more ground than he might think before he is seen by Koiva there. Board going to be sitting on this B site, holding that space. Particularly looks like that garage is going to be taken here by FIU, and Board walking into it, though the line of sights of 3 players there. Squiddy now getting picked off from the garage entrance after taking Jin. No vision for Koiva here, walking through the smoke, not able to do anything there. Garrett and Spectre now going to have to come and make something happen. Spectre going down. Ash jumping through the smoke, and a bit of a well time. I'm not quite sure what that final little flash was, but regardless of that, Ash going to finish the job. Garrett walking through, not quite expecting him to jump through the smoke. First win on the board for FIU, first round win, I'll say. And what we had seen there was honestly well played by FIU to be able to play that garage and then Jin hit at the same time. That allows the flank, or when I say flank, I more so mean allows that trade-off from the garage entrance we saw there near Koiva here now on that garage entrance into Seaside. he was able to walk in, and while Squiddy, I say that, oh my goodness, 2 going down literally at the same exact time. And forget what I was saying. Troy already back in, or well, I say back in this already. Big advantage for them starting here. Board going to be holding that long position, and I say the Squiddy holding this pixel angle. Ash going to bite, not going to fully go through with it though. And now that A side, Spectre having been taken down, A long was open for a moment. They're going to opt to go through sewers though, is FIU. Wall going up for Garrett, not quite sure by them if they had fully took FIU why that wall's going up. Koiva now going to meet Amanda on that backside, not able to get the pick though. Now FIU going to have to make a decision now with only 45 seconds. Are they going to go ahead and sit on that C side, or are they going to try to do a fake and then back onto that A side? And looking like they will be committing to this. Garrett, you're just a little too late to get the picks. Squiddy going down. Garrett able to get one though in a 1v2 situation here. Not aware, sitting in the smoke. A flick coming off for him. And if he would have been able to get around and take a man out with that shorty, oh my goodness. That would have been insane. I might have lost my mind. Still a really, really good flick there for Garrett. And when we saw there, almost a bit of unluckiness there for Troy. Garrett, of course, showing up just a little too late to be able to react onto that C-long walk-in, having to, again, almost flick instead of getting to hold the angle with the operator as he would have liked to. Regardless of that, though, for a moment, Troy getting 2 early picks really could have used that round. I will say all that, because it is something that does need to be said. Again, Troy taking those initial picks and then not really capitalize off of it is something that is painful to see. But again, these things are going to happen, and just as Troy can adjust to it. Now that breach charge going down. Squiddy shooting through the smoke, not quite able to finish anybody off. Koiva now was on the site with the Guardian. Not able to get anything done though. Amanda also taking board out. Now Squiddy fully back around, trying to stop the plant, but planting in a bit of an uncommon spot here. FIU, so the Sova ult not going to do anything. Now Squiddy does have his ult here, teleporting, getting one on Lou, 2, Mitchie! Going to be taken out there by Ash though. As that happens, Spectre walks in, takes him out. Garrett finishing off Amanda there, and now with the drone going to find that positioning of Jin. Now all it is can he hold it? Jin going to take out Spectre, going to clutch the round for FIU. Jin, really good way to hold it for him. Able to stay in that C long, not panic, because that is a panic-worthy situation. You see your team dropping like flies on that site. It starts to get to your head a little bit. Before you know it, you have 2 players you're playing against, 3 even before he was able to get 1 down. Against you, only sitting in C long. They know where you're playing. So that was good composure by Jin, I will say. I'm not happy with Troy losing that round, but I will give him credit for that. Holding that very effectively, especially with that operator getting the value that he needed out of it that round. Again, way to go and try to retake. Troy looking like they're losing a bit of that spark, saying that Squiddy walking into the line of sight of Jin, unfortunately. Garrett looking to want it to retake, but not quite able to do it. And with his knife out, going to be picked off by Jin. Really unfortunate there for Garrett. And as all that is happening, Troy dropping. Going down on site was Koiva.
Last player standing.
Lou going to take board out. Spectre able to get 1 back. 1v3 situation for him. Lou on half HP. Not quite able to get that one there. 2 for him. Shock dart forcing him to reposition. Going to have to move quick. 5 bullets to his name. Pistol out. One more. 1v1 for Spectre. Half HP there for Mitchie. And able to clutch it! Spectre with 4 kills! I was not expecting that one! Oh my goodness, my heart was pounding! Oh my goodness, Spectre, 1v4 situation, and it wasn't just any 1v4 situation, it was a 1v4 walking onto site. Everybody knew where he was playing, everybody watching him. That will not phase Spectre, going to be able to clutch that 1v4, and Troy needed that. Looking by the way it was going, the momentum was going in FIU's favor. Troy, if they had lost that round, 4-4 score, not really good for Troy after going 4 up quickly. That would not have been good mentally. It would have definitely opted for a bit of discussion as to what are we doing? Why are we slipping up? And I mean, looking here, provoking a timeout from Ash, I would say above anything, what are we doing, guys? How did we just let him clutch? Me as a caster, I say, let him do it. Let him do it. Spectre, keep it up, dude. That was probably the best thing I've seen here streaming yet. That was absolutely amazing. Oh my gosh. I absolutely love that from him. I'm literally pulling up the stream. I have to see it again. Oh, the delay going to be around behind. I really want to see it again. That was so amazing by Spectre. Oh my gosh. And I mean, again, what enabled him to do that was, of course, he's just locked in. That was, you honestly can't put it much in a way other than he did not give up. He sat there in a 1v4 situation, pushing onto a site, and what he did best other than anything was isolate his ones. I know it all happens quickly as Garrett is sitting here with this operator, but I want to make this point. As he's sitting there, you would think the way I described it, the way I reacted, he ran in there, swung all four of them at the same time. No, he isolated his 1v1s, which allowed him to systematically take down FIU. Saying all that, need to get up and prepare with this round. Koiva taking one out there. Ash, they're going to trade him off. Squiddy now playing that garage section, jumping through the window, following. Spectre getting one more. Ash aware of him. Squiddy going to take
one enemy remaining.
Mitchie there. Amanda going down as well. Lou here getting two before Squiddy is able to refrag it. Lou there again, yeah, able to get two, putting it a bit in his favor, but Troy collapsing on him altogether. Somebody's bound to get the kill there. Man, I was so caught up in the clutch that I was not casting the round properly, but again, way to play it, Troy. Obviously calm. Koiva able to get that initial pick. Spectre coming in from the side, able to clean it up as well. Now FIU's pushing site with only 3 players to their name, 4 at another point. Or well, 3v4, because again, Koiva got traded off pretty much immediately by Ash. But regardless of that, you love to see Troy able to hold it calmly, effectively. And looking that they want to do this C-long push again, FIU, 4 on it. Looking towards the garage, Jin, but not so much the garage as much as the garage door. Again, seeing for something like this, if he can catch Squiddy. Squiddy, though, not going to let that happen. Taking one now. Troy now in a man advantage.
Off your feet.
Now, as that ult does go up, it does give FIU an opportunity to push into sight, but they're not going to take it. Garrett here on this backside, they weren't expecting that one. If he pulled that out, that would have been insane. Now again, FIU in a really bad situation here, not really playing off of their utility properly. Despite the fact it's a 3v2 situation, not one that you want to be in. We see Garrett there going ahead and jumping over to that A side, anticipating that plant. So now Spectre gets a bit of a head start on the retake, going to try to hit the default planting spot, just missing slightly there. Spectre, unfortunately, though good attempt, putting the pressure there on FIU, and now In Heaven is bored. And now what we need to see here is Troy push together, play off of each other with that man count. You would hope above anything to see the trades. Board able to get one there. Now Lou down and held, able to get Koiva, but Board going to trade him off quickly. Spike with enough time for Troy there. Clean retake. Again, seeing this again and again and again and again. You love to see Troy's consistency with this. The retaking consistency is amazing. I'll go ahead and say that because they're very calm. We saw their Spectre getting the jump on the rotation by Lou there. Typically, whenever the Omen is going to use his ult to go ahead and teleport to plant other side in situations as we just seen there, where you have to react quickly before they're able to rotate. Again, typically in those situations, the plant has been down for about half its time before the defending team is able to get their rotation off. Spectre there, though, getting the jump on it, able to go and put that pressure quickly with his ultimate, allowing him to give the rest of Troy time to get on side. Saying all that, Spectre now holding this mid. And even man count there, Spectre was able to get one. Koiva going down there as well. And that soul interaction looked like it's stopping FIU from really committing to that C long. Playing in the smoke here is Garrett an opportunity here to do something. One for him, putting up the wall, not able to get Ash though as he was caught with his utility out. And now taking that hill position, Amanda playing it Squiddy. Nobody really looking towards heaven here. Might bite FIU not doing that. Spectre walking in or coming into heaven, getting his pick. Squiddy getting the info with the ult. Amanda taking Spectre out. Board able to get the last two though. And Troy, another really good retake. And this is a game of retakes for Troy. Absolutely amazing so far for them. So calm and composed. And really good at playing together, playing off of each other's information. Of course, Squiddy getting that active information with the Dimensional Rift. Going to allow Troy to do those calm retakes. When you know where everybody's playing, all it is a matter of swinging and getting the picks back, right? That's all it really is a matter of. And then Troy doing that very effectively. Again, seeing the setup by Koiva here on the C side. And FIU still not faltering with that C long push. And again, while not fully pushing it, Jin here going to be playing this A long. Potentially just setting up his alarm though. FIU still really in tune with this C long. And though it's not working for them amazingly, the consistency is going to allow for more likelihood of success. Garrett going to be holding with his op though. So I wouldn't say it was the best idea to walk through this C long. And FIU doesn't think so either. Koiva now taking up this garage heaven position. Really slow so far. Here, Squiddy going to get one, but getting traded off immediately by Jin. And looking like they may want to commit to this B-side take, though Board is in an amazing position to hold it. So it might be a tough take here. Koiva able to get one. And as I say that, they do walk into the garage, taking Koiva out there, but he's able to get one. Garrett watching it, able to get another one there. 2v3 here for FIU. Board coming around the backside here. Nobody watching him. One for Board.
Spike down mid.
Now Garrett coming to take his pick. Big aggression in the round early. 9-3 for Troy. As we switch sides. Again, that wasn't even so much as a retake as just very good initial defense by Troy. You really love to see that from them. Because again, it shows that they're able to play multiple styles. Because as that defense was looking, it looked like Troy needed the retake almost to be able to play it effectively. But no, it's just showing that they are able to do multiple different things. And it was all calm. Par that insane clutch by Garrett. Par that. It most certainly was very calm, systematic, basic gameplay by Troy. And that is the thing that you want to see out of them. You want to see that simple, those basics done right. Because that is going to bring you success and consistency above all else. We've seen consistency. And going into this attack, we're hoping to see more of that consistency. Everybody here getting onto this B side. Lou not able to land his shots initially. Garrett in hot pursuit, not able to finish him off though. But as I say that, Troy most certainly with full control here. Koiva able to get one. Squiddy another one. Spectre 1, 2, 3 for Troy. 2 left here on the board for FIU. Garrett able to get in this defender spawn. Mitchie and now Ash all on his own. Chasing Garrett here. Again, very consistent, systematic right there. Ash taking out one. This is a bit humorous seeing everybody stacked up here trying to go ahead and finish him off. Who's going to get it? And it will be Garrett's. Really good by Troy. We saw there, they took that immediate B-side control, but that is not where they planted because, again, B, I will say, is a bit of an odd place to plant. Of course, it is the odd one out of the sites. C and A, the main sites. So Troy opting to go ahead and rotate through that C side, and not just the fact that B isn't the best place to plant, but it's just also because it's not as defensible as another place like C. And again, Troy knew that FIU was mostly on that A side, going to have to push from that A side. So planting on C immediately goes ahead and secures the win initially, or essentially, I mean to say. Squiddy here pushing up with his Bulldog. Jin already half HP. Utility in his hand. Jin not able to finish him off though. Garrett getting one. Squiddy another. Garrett two. And quick picks for Troy. Amanda going to take Koiv out, though, unfortunately, playing towards that garage. Garrett waiting on him. One for him. Pushing him up to 3. Potentially a 4K for Garrett. Getting aggressive and taking that 4K. Love to see that by Garrett. The aggression, the intensity, still here for Troy. They are not taking their foot off the pedal whatsoever here tonight. We see that, and it is amazing. I am loving it. I'm loving every bit of it. As we saw there, I said not able to finish him off whenever Squiddy had been caught with his utility out, but it wasn't so much finish him off. He had not really received any shots, but Jin not really reacting to it. We saw Jin had the line of sight, didn't take the picks. He had the weapon in his hand. So really, that was a bit of a failure by him, but Troy capitalizing off of it, taking their space where it was given to them, allowing them to take that C side quickly. Jin now in a similar situation. And Garrett, this really fun playstyle to watch, taking space quickly. This is something that was most certainly a good change, this Neon pick, and we have seen that tonight. Now Troy setting up to hold this. Koiva again going down in the garage. Another one, Mitchie taking Squiddy out there. Now Troy going to have to hold best they can on the seaside. Garrett Board playing directly on it. Board not able to get one and getting collapsed on here. Garrett able to get one walking into the garage. Coming soon though is Mitchie. Inspector not quite able to divert all his attention. Now using these shock darts, that's some good tech. I haven't seen that before. To potentially get some damage. Able to get another one, Spectre! Another clutch by Spectre! Oh my goodness! It just came out of nowhere! It just came out of nowhere! Spectre playing that backside C-long with a bulldog in his hands. And 3 FIU players looking at him. You don't expect him to clutch that. Yeah, he does it. He just does it. He peeks into it. He releases his shock darts. Again, FIU knows where he's at. They know exactly where he's going to be playing. And that does not stop him. He isolated his ones effectively, able to get the pick systematically, and that brought him success. Oh my goodness, Spectre. 2 for him. Pop off, dude. Now, initially Amanda was holding this A-long, but not going to do it anymore. Garrett able to take the space for free, walking through the smoke now. Garrett getting a few shots off, putting that smoke up, potentially going to try to cross here. Coming from sewers though. Squiddy going to finish off Amanda there, allowing them to take that full A-side main entrance. But looking like they're doubling back and going to think about what they want to do more. Not really committing to that sewer push. Garrett still going to stay on this A-side entrance, but going to come and join the team now in the push. Board able to get Ash here in that garage window. Jin all on his own on this C-side, while Mitchie and Lou have to rotate. Board ahead and taking Jin. Koiva catching Lou as he rotates. And bad situation here for Mitchie. Ace to win the game. We'll keep him in it. And a kill for Garrett to win it. Oh my goodness. This was a fun game. This was a fun game. Oh my goodness. I absolutely enjoyed this one. This is probably my favorite game I've casted. Spectre, Koiva, Board, Garrett, Squiddy, absolutely locked in tonight. Squiddy, Garrett having absolutely amazing games here. 18-9, 19-8. Mind you, 9 assists there for Squiddy. He may not have won every engagement, but he put some shots on you regardless. Board there, playing that controller, 14-7, 11 assists. Same for him. Constantly getting that damage. Spectre, my personal, I would say, just he's got that clutch factor. Probably the best way I could put it. He has had that clutch factor tonight. Oh my goodness, that was amazing. Okay, I will say, let's weigh the two, right? I was in complete control, but if you guys remember, Spectre here, he had clutched up. Troy had won 4 rounds consecutively, right? And then what he had done is going into that 5th round of the game, FIU had started accumulating some momentum. They had won 3 in a row pretty handily, and then after that they were in a 1v4 situation with Spectre, so looking to go into their 4th win in a row, tie the score up 4-4, and then potentially an eco round for Troy. Just a bad situation in general. But Spectre here clutches up the 1v4, isolates his ones, gives us an absolutely amazing demonstration, and it just everything was immaculate, and we hope to see more of that here. Speaking of a bit of aggression here, Gary and Koiva going to be taken out quickly here. Squiddy now left in a bit of a pickle while the entirety of Messiah is near him, though they will decide to push through mid. Troy quickly falling, by the way. Something I didn't... Shooting through the smoke, though, Spectre. Trying to see if he can get that pick there on Clove. Not going to benefit him, though. Aware of getting walked up on. Getting one. One more coming, though. Through this backside. Squiddy now going to see if he can take this engagement. Get another one. Jumping over the box. I believe landing a shot on Squiddy with the right click. That's interesting. Now pushing together. Spectre and Squiddy. Bit of a tough situation, though. A lot of Messiah players are low. Khan going to take Spectre down there. Squiddy getting another one. Everybody flooding him. And down goes Squiddy for this first round win for Messiah. And again, I mean, what it seemed to be there that caused Troy to falter a little bit was just early aggression had backfired, and Koiva Garrett picked off nearly immediately. So going in with a majority of the round left, Messiah had the opportunity to get the push into that B side essentially for free. No resistance whatsoever comparative to how many players they had pushing. And again, at that point, the round is so difficult to win that you really can't count Troy in. Of course, a clutch is possible, but regardless of that. And I'm watching here because it looks like Messiah is most certainly looking to want to push that C long. Lust going to take Squiddy down there. And Board pushing into that mid window, looking to see if they can catch Lust off guard. But Lust seemingly a step ahead every second, not quite going to meet.
Spike planted.
Now, aware of Board's presence here as well as Spectre's. Lust, but Lust has that Guardian in hand, so not a good engagement for Troy to take. Two sitting behind the box here. Garrett potentially able to get a pick here if he is predicting the box positioning. Saying that the Azure is going to be taking two out there. Spectre as well as Corbin now getting walked up on with the aggression. Garrett going to go down there and expect much the same here against Board, taking one and not able to get just there. And again, much of the same there we kind of saw out of the way Messiah was playing. And again, they had essentially took for free C long there. We saw that they had stacked up heavily on C long and they had pushed through it quickly, taking the space, getting the plant down, and then as well as Lust playing near that garage position, not allowing Board or Spectre to walk immediately into that garage entrance. Right? So it's going to cause, you know, the team to be able to play more freely on that C side. They get that plant down and got into the positions before any Troy player had even started retaking. And then see there, Garrett getting really aggressive, as we saw last game, working very well for him to get aggressive, allow him to get many picks. Now as we see here, the way Troy is set up, despite the fact that Clove here kind of getting B by themselves, aware of nobody playing it, still not really going to be able to capitalize off of other than information. And we see two here, Squiddy and Koiva going to be playing this C side, still in C long there. Wanyong. And again, a bit of a stalemate here in terms of the positioning. 55 seconds on the board. Messiah not really making any moves. The team most certainly split up. So again, looking like sooner or later somebody's going to get to an engagement. Look like Spectre here is trying to take that space onto B. Squiddy going to get one there. Garrett going to get taken out by Lust, playing that A long. Spectre getting another one there. And Troy has set up nicely here on B side. 30 seconds left for Messiah. Looking like they're going to have to make a decision to either fully commit to this B side or rotate and try to make a quick plant. But as we see here, Squiddy, Spectre respectively playing C and A. So not really any opportunity for rotation. Koiva getting one. Not able to get another one there. Board still on this B side. Going to finish off Lust there. All alone, Khan. Board getting taken down there by Khan. Squiddy still up, as well as Spectre on the 2 entrances of B side. Khan not really able to make anything happen. And going to be the first round win there for Troy. Really well played. We saw there that Messiah kind of didn't know what they wanted to do because there wasn't any free space necessarily. Again, despite the fact that walking through mid, Clove was able to find that nobody was playing the B side. The one little exception about, you know, B being free is that you can't really always count it as free unless you're able to go ahead and get a few picks, because A and C have very easy routes rotating into B. So if you take it with 5 players up, it's always going to be hard to hold it effectively. Garrett again getting aggressive here, pushing up, trying to get a good position. And Bucky in hand while the smoke is there, potentially trying to catch some Messiah players off guard. But that drone will go up, not allowing him to keep that position. Getting tagged up, but not dead yet. Now Spectre playing in that sewer position, not able to get a shot off there. Garrett still playing close with the Bucky, and most of Troy rotating here. Koiva looking to want to stay in that B board as well. And playing in the smoke, Garrett, of course, backing up out of it because 30 HP, not really something that you can just walk up on somebody with. And as we see here, Messiah is stacked up 3 in sewers here. And exactly what Spectre is looking for. Those sewer players. Aware of at least one. Not committing to an engagement. Now peeking it. Garrett still playing that side with the Bucky in the smoke. Getting 2 there.
30 seconds left.
Now getting traded off. Board also going to take Azure though. Spectre now getting another one. Lux the last remaining. Koiva going to finish the job. And there we go, Troy holding it effectively again. When Troy's able to play at their pace, which is definitely slower as we saw that round. And even though, again, Messiah definitely was being a bit more aggressive on that A long, they still took their time trying to decide exactly what they wanted to do, which allowed Troy to settle in, kind of play more informationally, and be in the right place at the right time to stop the engagement. Garrett getting 2 picks there with the Bucky. Really well played. And of course, Garrett being an early aggressor there against Messiah, moving in and getting drones, getting away with 30 HP. Now we see here Lust going to have that op here on A long. Moving now into the mid window is Lust with that op, looking just for a free pick anywhere where he can find somebody either crossing over or peeking him. But nobody really biting here. Garrett still going to be playing this backside A long position, waiting and seeing if somebody will walk up. But as of right now, nobody really biting. Squiddy, Koiva also holding their positions. And much of what we've seen here, now going into a minute into the round, Messiah not really making up their mind. Still plenty of time, though, to make a decision and execute. But not really any space cleared for them. Of course, they've gotten a little bit of heading into C long here. Regardless of that, Squiddy, Koiva both ready to respond to a push through here. Now, if they can get that garage space here, as it looks like they're doing, this will open up a lot of opportunities for pushing into C long. And looking like they are preparing, yeah, to get aggressive here. Koiva going to be taking out Khan there. So now no Waylay on site. No duelist there. Getting another one on just.
Spike down. C.
And it looks like for the most part, the attack has fallen apart here. Now coming from that A long here, Lust, we know he still has that op in hand. So again, yeah, able to get Garrett off the board there. Squiddy board getting their picks respectively. And Squiddy able to finish off Lust there. Really well played by Troy. Again, consistency is what matters here. Is the ability to be able to keep this pace. Keep this pace where they can play off of information effectively and not really get caught off guard anywhere. We had saw there, despite the fact that that garage space was being taken and Squiddy looking like he was potentially going to be picked off there, well, pinched by C long and garage walk-in. Koiva there to hold the walk-in, not allowing anybody to take that space again with C long as well. Really what it was, not so much the walk-in as much as the C long walk-in. He had held that, not letting them take any quick space. Saying that, Garrett not letting them take any quick space with the op. Spectre going to go down, but Lust going down as well. That dimensional rift going off there for Wanyang. Yeah, going to teleport, take out Garrett there. Board though, going to clean it up. with a trade-off on Khan. Now, Young going to be staying near that door, so potentially Troy does not know of that positioning. Still looking for it, Koiva, but not moving whatsoever. Young trying to hold that position. Koiva there showing up at the right time. Do get the pick. Coming out of Sewers. Azure going to take Koiva down there. Now what we need to see, Board getting another one. Or Squiddy getting one. Board going down. 1v1 here for Squiddy. Unaware of the positioning of Azure. And Azure will take Squiddy out. Yeah, unfortunately, Azure really did play that well. Their positioning-wise, not really letting Squiddy in on where they were. And Squiddy, of course, no idea where Azure could be playing after getting that pick and moving around that left side of the box. Board, of course, getting picked off by Azure. But regardless of that, that information that you transmit is going to change. Because, again, by the time that Squiddy had got around to that side of the box, Azure could have fallen back towards Sewer, could have fallen back to the other side of the box. I mean, either way, it's a tough situation no matter which way you look at it. Still, though, good by Troy to put up a fight there and see, hopefully to continue that consistency we have been seeing. I mean to say. And now looking at Garrett here, going to be holding this A long, though Lust will not come, unlike the last round where he was able to get that pick with the operator.
Shadows traveling.
Now Board aware of the heavy presence in Garage, and Squiddy going to be playing that position, teleporting out of harm's way for the time being. Now definitely going to be getting settled into sight here. Koiva getting 1, 2 as well. Khan going to trade off Koiva there. Squiddy now fully on sight, getting picked off from the side there. Spectre was able to get 2 there. Garrett looking to have gone to that backside, but not able to do anything with it against Lust. Now, 2v2 situation. Spectre, Board still up. Not looking in the right place there. But Board going to trade off. Just Q.
Cover going out.
Now Lust here with Board in a bit of a standoff. Aware of the position in the smoke. And Board going to finish off Lust there in the garage connector and get this defuse off. Well played there by Board to go ahead and commit to trying to get the pick there. I mean, because you have to, right? If Lust is sitting there and allow it to spray freely into the smoke, sooner or later, he's going to hit you, kill you, and then you lose the round anyways, right? There's no reason not to go ahead and commit to that swing out of the smoke, especially because he doesn't know quite where you might come from. The side of the smoke, from the front of the smoke, or stick the defuse. So again, well played there by Board to go ahead and get that round win, taking Lust down. And even Koiva there, able to get 2 picks there early, holding down the fort well, so trading off his life, or a positive trade on his life, I'll say. Now looking here, nobody quite looking to want to go that A-long again, a bit of a common trend we've seen these past few rounds. Board now, though, playing fully in garage window.
Here.
Still slow, though. B definitely being cleared out by Messiah here. And they are looking to go ahead and get that space quickly. Squiddy reacting, though, going to get 1. Lust trading him off. Dropping the smoke down as fast as he can. Board for this retake here. Koiva going to be taken out by Lust there, unfortunately. Garrett, Squiddy together, or Garrett, Spectre together, pushing in. Of course, Garrett getting that 1 pick there. Now able to play off of each other. Lust going to take Board, though. Low HP, Azure not finishing him off, though. Spectre, Garrett going to trade him off. 1v2 situation. Lust is low, but the spike is going to go off soon. Garrett going to have to make a decision to push in or leave. Opting to push in, but unaware of where they may be playing here. Lust. So going to have to sit and try to stick. Unfortunately, not going to be able to get it done, especially with that Sova ult by Just. And then Lust, of course, playing that backside. Unaware of that backside play. A tough situation again. And what would have been nice to see there by Troy, of course, they had given up B quickly, which is perfectly fine, especially if you're going to be able to retake effectively. We saw Squiddy getting in there quickly, able to go ahead and get his trade off, get a pick there. Again, getting traded off immediately by Khan. But what would have been nice is kind of seeing more of a consolidated push onto site. Of course, Squiddy took the initiative. What would have seemed that Troy funneled in a bit after that. So it caused Messiah to be able to focus down each individual player as they came. I say that now to say that definitely taking a different tact here as last round, going to that A long and taking the space quickly here. Khan getting very aggressive with that waylay, going back though with the information that he has gathered. Now, we saw, yeah, Lust playing that sewer position, Khan playing the A entrance, as well as Young Just. But we see Clove here still staying very much on that flank. Watch Azure. And Troy 100% anticipating a fake and then a rotation by Messiah, seeing by their positioning here. They most certainly did not stay holding that A side as a team. But Messiah doesn't look like they're going to be faking. It looks like they may actually commit to this A side push now. Sooner or later, they are going to do that. Now getting to drone it. Coming up through sewer. Lust taking out Spectre, as well as Azure getting bored. Azure also taking Koiv out there. So now most certainly going to be planting that spike, taking that A space. And again, even after, again, Azure taking out Garrett and Young taking Squiddy. Well, first of all, Azure playing that B position really was effective for him, able to find people, like catch them off guard as they were rotating, because again, that fake rotation not successful for Troy, going to have to come back. Azure though playing that B side, allowing him to catch players off guard as they rotate, because again, Troy don't really have time to check for lurkers, because whenever they had realized, especially after Spectre had gone down, that A side was fully open, you have to get over there quickly, right? So you have to kind of put a bet on nobody going to be playing that lurk position instead of full team push. But then, of course, Azure playing that lurk, catching Troy off guard, and allowing that spike to get down there on A essentially for free after, of course, Spectre going down. So not a good position to be in for Troy at all. And again, the retake wasn't very effective either, going in, not getting their picks, because again, you were going in for a retake with only 2 players against 5, and as again we have seen, it's possible to win those situations, but it is not likely, right? So this timeout, I'm sure, is probably what is going to be discussed, is, you know, that kind of, well, first of all, coordination would definitely be better, and the decision making, of course, was not there for that decision to fake rotate. I'm not sure exactly if it had been a call out that had made it happen, or if it was a team decision. Either which way, not a good decision to have made in that situation, going down 4-5. Still not a bad score though. We see Garrett going to do much what he did early, get aggressive here, but Lust going to be ready for it. Now going back into that mid window. Young going to stay here and seeing if Garrett will get aggressive here, and instead of falling back, Garrett going to hold this position for the time being. The Yoru clone coming up. And now Young going to be walking up as well. Gary getting a nice shot there. Azure going to trade off board though as that happens. Taking B now. Though Spectre is responding to the B side aggression. Azure walking directly in the middle of the smoke. Spectre not aware of it, of course. And Squiddy playing with him as well. Koiva now collapsing onto that B. And Garrett still holding this A side. Khan not wanting to give it up. Still playing that A long. Unsure as to if he wants to leave or not, of course. Droning in to this B side to see if they can find Azure. Going, I don't believe they saw him. I don't believe they saw Azure. He really played that well. Oh my gosh. That positioning by Azure was very, very good. Garrett here getting Khan. And Squiddy not committing fully to the B side. Now the plant going down here on C as Azure is still on that B side. So going to have the opportunity to kind of lurk onto Troy after they have started the retake. And going to play a passive hold here on the plant. Of course, just playing that C long as well as Lust. Going to take out Squiddy here. Garrett shooting off the recon dart. I'm aware of Azure's position, but not really anything he can do here whenever everybody is collapsing on him at the same time. Going to be able to get Azure there. Still winnable, but difficult. 2 now watching him and not over peeking. Getting 1 there, though. And unfortunately having to reload. 4 kills there that round for Garrett. Really, really good for him. But regardless, not able to get it done. Would have took an ace to clutch that, which would have been insane. I would have gone nuts, as again I saw with Spectre. But regardless, and actually good on him to be able to get that pick. But regardless of saying all that, still able to get that space after already engaging into the B side, taking it, and then going towards that A long initially. Good rotation by Messiah. And what we saw there in that B, again, if you guys were watching, Spectre had a drone, and Azure, his movement positioning was absolutely perfect. Spectre was unaware of Azure's positioning behind the shield, so he was able to stay there and get that pick. And I just wanted to note that because that was actually stellar by Azure. That was really amazing by him. You have to give him props for that. But focusing on this round now, Board going to be playing this corner position here in B as Lust here plays on the door. Smoke going to go down there, so probably going to force away some of these Messiah players away from this B door, at least until the smoke goes down. Look at the top of the screen, though. You see 5 ults there on the board for Troy, and despite the fact that it's not the last round, still something that they have in their toolkit. Nobody really committing to anything. A long now getting tooken and droned by Messiah. Young going into sewer. And Spectre going to be holding it here all on his own. And I'd imagine sooner or later, yeah, Garrett here going to rotate over, especially with this full take. Spectre going to be able to get one there, though. Playing Hail Khan. Not able to get another one, though. Garrett, of course, responding quickly here. Able to get Azure. Azure going to pop the ult, though, and try to revive Khan there. Able to get Garrett off the board with the operator. Azure getting Koiva. Falling one by one. Troy, Squiddy there, going to finish off Azure, though. And now going to get to push together 2 ults to their name, though not much utility to be found in these specific ults. Omen and Yoru. Again, Squiddy able to go and take out Lust there in sewer. Definitely an opportunity here for Troy. Board playing the side position, unfortunately not able to capitalize off of this positioning. We had saw there walking through the smoke, just able to take Squiddy down. And Board not reacting off of it immediately, allowing it to become a 1v2 situation and getting swung by both Messiah players that were still up. Again, not a good situation to be in, but regardless, retake looked good there for a moment for Troy, but it seemed that it kind of had fizzled out, especially when we had saw there that Khan was able to get that initial pick there on the operator, and then Azure had popped the ult and actually got himself revived. So again, not a great situation for Troy. Garrett pushing up hard here, as we've seen him do a few times this game. And the same kind of story here to be told. Messiah going to leave a few players here to watch, particularly just there, going to watch this. But nothing really going to come from it.
Portal closed. Who's next?
Now Young going to pop his clone and take the space into Troy, or into Troy's C side here. Lust pushing up off of that and taking out Squiddy. Koiva taking out Khan, though, and a full flood here by Messiah. Not going to be able to react off of it. Gary here with the ult. Hopefully able to get a pick here. Lust playing that side position, though. Garrett not able to react to it. And again, flooding the site, really effective here for Messiah, leaving Spectre in a 1v4. And again, getting taken out there into the garage. What I was going to say is that, as we saw, well, particularly here, we had seen Spectre in a 1v4 situation before, particularly last game. That played much better by Messiah, that 1v4 situation. Of course, not isolating his ones. Of course, Azure playing in that garage by himself, but still in a position where he can get traded immediately. And unfortunately, what we've seen there is that the flood, again, worked for Messiah. We saw there the Yoru clone initially coming off from Young, using his Dimensional Rift to get into Troy's space. And off of that, Koiva again taking Khan, getting traded off, though, after Squiddy had been taken down as well by Lust, pushing off of the Dimensional Rift. So again, not great for Troy, already losing the space quickly, having to push into an established site against what we can already tell here, by the way, tonight, a good team in Messiah. So not going to be great. Now, doing their iconic pistol strat, being very aggressive here. Troy, Ford able to get one pick there. Pushing into B side here as an entire unit. Nobody left behind here. Troy. And now directing over to the A side. I heard there for a moment, faking the plant. That was really smart there by Spectre to do that, because now Messiah is going to be sitting here worried about that plant going down. Or if Troy is going to commit to the plant, if they're still even on that B side. And then we see Just here taking that space in B, so clearing out the B, aware of the rotation. But by this point, again, the plant had been down for some time here. We see that saying that Khan going to take Squiddy out there on the A long. Nobody quite holding it, and Les taking Garrett out. So the retake going good here so far for Messiah. Spectre going to get a kill with a shock dart too there. Dropping down was Lust going to get that pick, and Koiva finishing off just to get this first win here on the attack. Really well played by Troy, especially in that pistol round. A very, very insurmountable round. So again, what we've seen there is they committed to their aggression. They committed to all pushing through that mid, through B, faking the plant there on B, going towards A, setting up. And despite the fact that Messiah was able to get a few picks back there, they still were able to hold the fort down. Particularly Spectre there, getting good utility value, getting a kill with his shock dart, turning around, getting Khan following up. Lust dropping down from heaven to pick him off. Koiva responding. Everything about that round was really good, well executed by Troy. Again, they love that quick play on this attack. And looking like they're stacking up here on this C long. Not, of course, going to push as quick as before. But what they're going to find soon here is that there's a 3-man setup on C by Messiah. So not going to be the most optimal mode of attack this direct. Of course, if you can get a little bit of utility on the board. Speaking of board going to get picked there on Lust. Squiddy getting another one on Young. Now the C side for free for Troy. Squiddy going to trade off Azure there. And Khan coming from the backside, going to pick off Garrett there. Squiddy responding, board again, really clean, well played by Troy here to be able to go and take that space quickly, leaving nothing up to Messiah. Again, not letting them play at their pace, right? Troy had took that space, played off their utility, and what I was saying as that engagement happened was that in a 3-man hold of C, as we just saw there, not going to be amazing to push in directly unless they're able to use their utility effectively. Exactly what Troy did, going and using their utility effectively, cleaning up everybody, trading effectively. Everything about that really, really good, as we have just seen that first round. So accumulating some good momentum here, Troy. Now, as they push into this B side, we see that there are two set up here. Azure here going to be taken out by Squiddy, playing that backside, and Board going to be able to get the plant down. Koiva getting one on Young, and now a 5v3 situation, though Koiva is 10 HP, hanging on by a thread, allowing him to be a little more passive would be beneficial here, and exactly what he's going to get to do, play this flank. And the entirety of Troy here actually going to be playing this very passive backside, because again, Board planted in a position where you can hold the plant from this window. So there's no reason not to play it from back here, of course. We see Board pushing up, getting one. Garrett shooting the plant there. And Lust, while going down by Spectre, it almost looked like he could have held it. It looked like for a moment there, Garrett wasn't quite able to get the picks, and he probably would have been better off sticking it. Of course, I'm not sure that he would have got it off necessarily, but definitely would have been a bit more beneficial to probably stick that and see if he could go ahead and just, you know, get a little lucky, right? Regardless of that, though, Troy going to finish off that round. Spectre finishing off with the shock dart. Really well played by him. So, Troy, I love to see that plant position, by the way, because even though it's not one that I would necessarily say is uncommon, it's not something that is always expected out of teams, right? So allowing them to get to play these unorthodox positions, playing from this mid window, is going to be beneficial, as it looks like they were doing for a moment there. Squiddy going to stay near these mid doors, these garage doors, and kind of see if he can find somebody walking through. Then we see Khan here tucked on this side here. Garrett going to swing around, get that pick. Swinging together, though, Garrett and Board almost guaranteed to get that pick there. And now playing quickly onto this A side. Take that space as fast as possible. Put the wall up. Not allowing Messiah to really flood into side as well as they would want to. Now trying to get across there was Garrett. Not going to work for him. Lust going to take him out. And now aware of just position in heaven. And now Board going to clean that up on Azure. Koiva taking just out, taking another one, Koiva. And, okay, well, for a moment there, not looking in the right position. Koiva, though, going to finish off. Tie us up 8-8. Really well played there by Koiva to be able to get those picks when needed. Again, as we've said before, we know Koiva. He's able to play that fragging Senti, which you love to see out of any Sentinel. Because, again, it's not a agent classification that really comes, or a role, better way to say it, that comes with, you know, the natural expectation to frag. Unless you're playing a chamber. But other than that, a bit of a tangent there, I will admit. Now, as we see here, Lust going to be pulling out the op here. Looking like he's thinking about it. Pulling out the op, of course, yeah. And him going to be playing that C-Long, but playing a bit of an uncommon position on the C-Long. Pushed up. And that's not going to do him any favors, though, as Troy pushes in quickly here into B-side. Young, though, getting 3 immediately. So, already a bad position for Troy. Or a good situation turning to bad. Board going to get another one there on Troy. Now all on his own. Board making it a 1v2 situation. Tucked in this corner. Teleporting just in time to not die there by Lust. 9 HP. But Lust aware of the potential of going to that mid window due to the plant position. So again, good on him to anticipate it regardless. Unfortunate for Troy there. Losing 3 lives immediately, 3 bodies, too young there. Didn't really, well, I'm sure, of course, that's not the way that was going to pan out. Losing 3 there, Young playing that very effectively. I mean, as I was saying there, though, I mean, we saw Lust there popping the operator to play on that C-Long, but he was playing a pushed up C-Long, either which way. Not in a good position to defend B. So a bit of a waste of the op there, but still a round win nonetheless, so not hurting as much. Spectre here. Coming for the recon dart, shooting it. Now putting that in the back of Messiah's mind that Troy could be playing for that A long take due to the fact that Spectre shot that. So good ghost pressure, I would say. Spectre there, able to get 1 through mid, but Lust going to trade him off. And with this rift, taking that information that nobody's here on C, right? Nobody's here on C. Squiddy taking that information, now teleporting back to play this flank position. And again, Troy, all they got to do now, we've seen this defense numerous times, holding it. But we see Young there going to teleport into that backside potentially. And going to put in a bad situation. Garrett, of course, getting taken out there. Pushing up here. Koiva getting 1. Khan getting another one there. 1v2 situation. 1v1. 1v3 for Board. Put that one in the books. 9-9, tying us up there with a 3K. Love to see that from Board. Not panicking and keeping his head in the game. As we saw there, a bit intimidating. We saw Garrett was absolutely flooded by Messiah. Khan going in there, getting 3 picks through that C-Long. Board left in a, not a bad position per se, but again, as we commonly relate this, a known position. So, that ability to win those gunfights, that's always what you love to see. Because again, your positioning may not always be the best. You may not always be in the best situations. But if you can be confident in your gunfights and in your ability to win these situations, you're going to have success. As we saw there with Board. Great clutch by him. Moving in to our 19th round of the game. Squiddy here looking like he's going to meet Lust. And aware of each other's positioning. Going to get that initial pick there. First blood for Troy going to be good. Droning through this sewer here is Spectre. And unfortunately not able to see anybody on that drone towards the last few seconds of it. But most certainly aware that they're going to be playing around that box, Messiah. Now Squiddy here walking through the smoke with the flash here. Not able to get Just. Khan taking Garrett as well. Board though going to finish off Just as well as Khan. And Board getting ahead and getting his 3K. Drop the plant. Might as well. Really good for Troy. You absolutely love to see that aggression by them. Because it had seemed a few times previously that this is a bit of a faltering thing. That aggression, it wasn't working for them time to time. And again, I mean, especially as we had saw there on that B side. And this is not last round I'm speaking of. Or, well, the last round before the one that we had just seen. But on that B side where they had went in and been aggressive, of course, but taken out by Young. 3 kills going on the board for him. So again, it looked like for a moment there, Troy's aggression was not really panning out for them. But of course, changing that site, going to that A as we had just seen, really, really well played for them. And I mean, everything about it was good. I mean, the droning, the information play, all of it panned out amazingly. Everybody playing their positions. We saw Board there coming off of that nice 1v3 clutch. He goes ahead and gets him another 3K. That has woken him up a little bit. And as we saw here, a common denominator that we may be able to relate from last game is that Troy gets that clutch. They get that momentum, and that clutch incentivizes or causes the other team to do their timeout, maybe getting in their head, maybe wondering, what are we doing, guys? We had just sold, 1v3, and now we're sitting here on this A side losing it very handily. It's a bit of a talk about because the thing is, you're getting closer to the end, right? Every round, the farther you get in, is more and more important. And again, going into our 20th round now here, Lust going to take Squiddy quick here. So, now, in a man disadvantage, Troy looking for somebody to walk up here. Garrett, aware of Khan's position potentially, able to get that pick, but Lust swinging at the same time, going to trade him off. Spectre now watching, but Lust not going to walk up and take the space, of course. And now we see Young pushing this backside. I'm not sure Troy's aware of it. Nobody really looking for it. So he may be able to catch Troy completely off guard with this lurk here, unless somebody has the intuition to look for it. And exactly what we see there, Young coming and taking out Spectre from mid. And looking to get this plant down quickly. Board able to get one, but Lust going to trade him off now. And Koiva all on his lonesome in this 1v4, surrounded and going to be taken out by Young there. Diffuse going to go down, and unfortunately Troy, as we saw there, what you're going to see, of course, for one, getting that first blood early is always going to be beneficial. As we saw there, the round that Troy had just won, Squiddy had got that first blood on Lust, and then vice versa, last round, Lust had got that first blood on Squiddy. Immediate disadvantage. We saw there too on that A long. Garrett pushed up, taking out Khan, getting traded off there by Lust though. So regardless, still man disadvantage, and then it stacked up the bad things. Once we had identified that Young was lurking, came to that backside, took out Spectre. Bad situation for Troy. Looking to bounce back this round, 10-10 our score. Khan there playing far up, but going to use his dash to get back. So he has the information now that Garrett and Spectre are playing. Perhaps not Spectre, but most certainly Garrett playing up in this A long position. We see Board there having took that space in C long. So again, everybody situated separately. Board going to utilize that ult to teleport back into mid and regroup with Troy. And we see Koiva here in the sewer. Lust was watching it for but a moment, but not committing to watching it. Khan peeking over the box. I'm sure Garrett saw that one, aware of that positioning at least.
You should run.
And a Killjoy going to go down here. So, hopefully able to get that Killjoy down. I'm sure that's what Messiah's had. Amazing shot for Garrett there. Another one.
30 seconds
Oh my
left.
goodness. Going to be getting this plant down. Board is. And now all it is about holding this backside. We see Garrett here playing this hell position. Spectre there watching, or going into sewer, as well as Koiva. Oh yeah, I agree. I agree. That shot was amazing, Garrett. And now allowing Messiah here. Garrett getting 2 there. Potentially an ace for Garrett. You would absolutely love to see that. Not looking to want to push though. Azure. 4Ks on the board for Garrett. And he'll happily run away with that. And it deserves some recognition. We saw it in chat. That was an amazing shot, Garrett. He was on the slide, on the Neon. One taps the head and then follows it up with another pick on the backside. You can't ask for much more from your duelist. That was immaculate. That set the stage for that attack. And again, Troy executed it perfectly, allowing Messiah to come on site while Garrett was positioned in that hill, allowing him to get those 2 picks. Coming out of that round with a 4K. Let's check the leaderboard while we have a little time. Oh my goodness. 23 kills, 4 board, 17 for Garrett. Yep, that's amazing. Get back into this game, though, back into this round. We see Khan playing that initial position that he had before, not looking like he's going to do the dash, though, for the information. Instead, actually going to commit to playing that pushed up A-long position. And majority of Troy here looking to this A side, but of course going to go back towards that mid. Not really something they want to commit to. Op going to come on the board here for Lust. A bit of a late decision to use the op, and it pays off because Garrett getting taken down there in mid from the B door. Cool over here, just playing that mid window. Troy coming up on 40 seconds left. Going to have to make a decision sooner or later as to where they want to push. Of course, a bit surrounded, I'd say, by Messiah. Every facet covered. Lust going to take Koiv out there. Getting another shot off there on Squiddy. For taking Just out there after just taking Spectre. Squiddy in a 1v3 situation. 20 seconds on the board. But Azure going to swing around and pick him off as trying to get away to that A side to drop that plant. Making our score 11-11. And again, that late decision by Lust there to pull out that operator was a good one, because he had pulled it out just in time to get value off of it on Garrett pushing through that mid window. And again, from the B door, taking out Garrett, getting the man advantage, and Troy obviously not able to push that C side. Not optimal utility for it, especially with the setup that Messiah had there. Having to push through mid, surrounded essentially. Not a good situation for Troy. What a flash going down by Squiddy, going to flash Khan there. So definitely allowing for Troy to get in here quickly. Garrett going to take 1, 2. Azure going to trade off Garrett though. Not after he's got 2 though. Azure getting another one here. Squiddy pushing in fully, taking 1. Lust not able, Squiddy not able to take Lust out there, unfortunately. 1v2 situation for Spectre here. Ult up for him, but the spike down. Unaware exactly of where he may be coming from. Spectre. And Azure going to be watching this position. Able to get 1 there. Spectre now watching. Going to drone there, but changing his mind. 40 seconds. Plenty of time here for Spectre. Lust going to catch him off guard. Not quite kill him, though. 47 HP here for Spectre.
30 seconds left.
Playing a bit of ring around the rosy. And almost clutching it there. Oh my goodness. 18 HP for Lust. Spectre, unfortunately, having getting sprayed earlier there. Going to be low board. Pulling out the timeout. What a clutch that would have been by Spectre. I mean, as we know, he has that clutch factor. He's shown that tonight. But regardless, a tough situation. You're not always going to be aware of the positioning. I know it's a bit hard to think about it. I say this because, of course, our broadcast, we get to see the positioning of the other team and all the utility and whatnot. But that, of course, is something the players do not see. They have to go off of their intuition, the cues they have, previous information to kind of make up their mind as to where they're going to be looking. And sometimes it can be just a bit of a toss-up. Sometimes you're not giving anything to work with. Of course, alt walking there. Lust, which, well, I'm saying slow walking, so you don't have any sound cue. Just going to have to react off of visual contact, which obviously is going to be a bit of a 50-50. Still, though, commemorable by Spectre, especially just to get into that situation in the first place, coming from sewer that was well guarded, especially with Spike there. Azure getting taken down. Lust finishing the job. Now, 11-12 here. Match point. Messiah could close it out here with a win. Troy, though, looking to keep this game alive, take us into potentially some overtime here. First time this season we'd see something like that. Troy definitely going to have to dig deep here to find what they need to win this. Now looking here, as of right now, not accounting for the orbs or the ult points, nobody with their ult there for Troy. And I say that, oh my goodness, I was not paying attention to that. That mid engagement had happened so fast. Koiva able to get one, but Azure taking two there. Spectre there, able to get one back though. I was definitely not paying attention to that. Caught a bit off guard to that mid engagement that had happened early. Now getting the spike down, Troy going to have to hold this perfectly against Messiah here. Now taking the space, Messiah. Faking the defuse. Able to get two there, board. Quick reactions by him. Inspector using that ult to try to stop the plant. And sticking it. Killing him though, Spectre will. Really good by Troy to hold that board with the Stinger, mind you. The Stinger, an absolutely horrendous gun, accuracy-wise, able to hold it down, get the 2 picks, and keep us in this game going into 12-12 overtime. Now it's getting really exciting. Troy going to have to find some way to hold it together, play the good game they've been playing, wash out the bad things, and then just close this game out. I'm sure the stress is high here, the nerves are high, but getting to be back on that defense, Troy, as we saw initially, and most certainly communicating with each other, Troy is. Garrett going to be the sole holder of this A long. And Messiah looking to take it quickly here. Garrett was holding it, not getting picked though, fortunately for Troy there. Clone walking in by Young. And Khan getting very aggressive with the waylay. Squiddy aware of that positioning by Khan. Going to be taken out there though. Ford able to get a pick there. Get away with his teleport into heaven. Spraying through the smoke. Not quite sure of the positioning unfortunately. And back as we saw last round, Spectre board all alone here. Lust aware of Spectre's positioning. Board also expected here in this heaven. Watched by Young.
Last player standing.
Spectre getting swung by every which direction. And unfortunately, Troy not able to win this defense here. And I mean, again, that's a tough situation to be in for one, because after Garrett had been pushed out of that A long, Messiah had full control over A essentially, because Troy's going to have to rotate. You know, that's just the basics again. Coming through the sewer, they had diverted some coming from A long. Either which way, going to be taking that A side essentially for free. We saw Khan there taking that quick hail position, taking out Squiddy there. So, again, tough for Troy. But going to have to forget about it going into this attack here. Now we know Young playing that side position. Garrett, though, going to get that initial pick here. And Troy now with the advantage, man count-wise. That drone coming from Just. Aware of the positioning of Koiva here. Able to get Just there on the garage window. Really good for Troy here situation-wise. Squiddy getting another one. Now Azure going to have to come from that backside sooner or later. Koiva watching that garage walk in. Khan not able to get in. Azure taking out Koiva there. But everybody aware of Azure's positioning while taking out Garrett. Again, you're getting swung from every direction. Azure going down. Squiddy finishing the job there to bring us back to 13-13. We see there, Troy's attack is nothing short of amazing. I mean, they are very, very fluent on that attack, very well versed on this Haven attack. We love to see that. So what we would love to see more is that ability to pull a defense through. Get one of these defense rounds, and then going into your attack that you know you're more effective on, potentially going to be able to come away with this win. Again, if they're able to get this defense, not quite sure what Messiah may do here. Potentially go for that A long. We see Lust here going towards that mid window. And a bit of a diverted attack here for Messiah. Everybody getting their information, transmitting it to get to make a decision. And we see Squiddy here jittering a bit. Unsure why that's happening. Either way. Now we see Board and Spectre here playing on this garage door.
Here.
And able to get 1, 2 for Board here. Spectre getting a Azure. Going to be able to get that man count advantage. Well in Troy's favor. Now Justin Kahn going to have to rush this C long if this is exactly what they want to do. 45 seconds on the board for them. Going to have to make a decision quickly as to where they want to go. Troy, 100%, except for Garrett, of course, holding this rotation that they could do into A. And Board holding that rotation they could do into B. Every area is covered here, so all Troy needs to do is hold their positions, win these gunfights, and close out this this defense win here in overtime. Again, walking through onto the site. Board getting taken out there, but Koiva swinging around and going ahead and finishing off Khan there to give Troy this defense round. This is what I was saying. This is what I was saying. We know Troy is good on that attack. Getting that defense round is a huge stress on Messiah, because you got to think past just the mechanical play, the physical play we're seeing. We got to think mentally here. Messiah's stressing now. They know Troy's attack has been better this game than their defense, right? And the fact that Troy was able to come away with a defense, and pretty handily there, might I add, that is going to be something sitting in the back of their head as Troy goes to this attack. Stacking up here on this C long. Koiva Garrett trailing behind. Koiva going to be holding this lurk or flank position. And Lust pushing into that C to hold it. Garrett going to be taken out by Lust there, unfortunately. Squiddy not quite in a position to trade it off immediately. Koiva there taken out by Young in Garage. Now man count going down for Troy. But going to be able here to hold this walk-in. So despite the fact that they're down in man count, not terrible positioning here by Squiddy and Spectre. Able to get 1 there. Squiddy, Azure going to trade him off. Spectre all on his own, and Azure taking him out. And I eat my words through the commentator jinx. Troy losing this attack round after winning that defense. A bit of a flip-flop thing to as I was saying. And the bad thing that we saw there is that Gary got taken out initially on the C side. You know, Lust made a good decision to come back from that backside on C, taking out Garrett, putting the man count in our favor. Koiva going into Garage, getting taken out by Young there. So again, man count down early.
Right here.
And Spectre
Right here.
Board left alone. Now going into this defense, we want to see some of the same as to what we had seen before. Troy able to just hold it down and potentially, again, get an early man count advantage. As I say that, Spectre peeking around, landing a nice shot on Khan. And again, as I stated, Troy, now with that man count advantage, can kind of play around it. Board holding this position here as Azure walks in. Completely caught off guard by Board. Further increasing Troy's man count advantage. Spectre in a bit of a tough position here for that Garage walk-in. Squiddy holding that C long. Playing that right side is just. And Garrett, though, holding this rotation. So it's not like Just could just come back to A for free. Garrett, of course, taking out Just there. Not expecting it. Young taking out Koiva. Squiddy there aware of Young's positioning. Caught with the utility out, unfortunately. Now, Lust taking out Garrett. 2v2 situation here. Getting a bit scary.
30 seconds left.
Spectre not able to kill Young there. And going to go and drop that plant quickly on C side. Bad situation for Troy here to lose those numbers in quick fashion. Board going to be all alone here. Going to have to clutch this to keep Troy in the game. Taking out Lust there. Young playing that C long passively. And very scary here. Still some time in the spike. Unfortunately, though, Young playing this very effectively. And Board not able to get the pick immediately.
What's another death?
Going to have to stick it. And not going to be able to get the pick there on Young. Really well played there by Young. Let me go ahead and say that. My heart was honestly pounding. Going to be able to get that advantage here.
I don't care.
Going into the attack here for Troy. Unfortunately, again, they had lost that man count advantage. I'd said it. I'd spoke it earlier. Spectre getting that early kill. Garrett following up with one of his own here on this lurk watch from A. But still not able to hold it. Especially there against Young. Able to pick up 4 kills that round. Really, really good for him there. And now Troy getting very aggressive here on this A long. Again, no surprise here, though. We know Garrett loves that aggression. And Board, while he was in a bit of engagement for a moment there with Lust, not really going to be one that he maintains. Now, as he takes Azure, getting traded off by Young. And Young fleeing back to the left side of B here. Now, Koiva pushing up and taking this space. 1 minute on the board for Troy. Hopefully a decision coming soon as to what we're going to be doing this round. And very calm before the storm is what we're seeing here. Trading off Squiddy there is Spectre. Keeping the man count even. And Koiva pushing out of the B side.
30 seconds left.
Going to be able to get Young there. Now Khan pushing the backside, catching Koiva off guard, unfortunately there. Still keeping this man count even with 15 seconds left. Just going to be coming
Last player standing.
from that A long. Garrett here in a 1v2 situation. 1v1 now. Looking like he's well aware of just positioning. Most certainly is now. And Garrett, too clutch. The 1v2 to keep Troy in this game. Ooh, I was scared to say anything. It was stressful. Garrett coming through there when we need him most. Thank you, Garrett. Very well played by him. Very well played by Troy there. Because again, for a moment, it was very stagnant, the play. We saw there Koiva coming through this B side. Had that intuition to stop and watch Young. And despite the fact, again, that he got caught off guard by Khan, he took Young out and allowed Troy to kind of fully commit to that A side. Now playing that aggressive defense that we saw early last game, Troy is. Stacked up on that mid window is Koiva. And watching the mid walk-in, Squiddy. So not really a good place to enter for Messiah here. Going to be droning here, but not really getting any information off of it. As you're aware of Squiddy's position. And Board also holding this B door, so most areas are covered here for Troy. In terms of where Messiah could attack from. Just a big gunfight happening here in this mid section. Azure hopping onto the box. Amazing flick for Squiddy there. Koiva as well.
Spike down mid.
Board getting his
One
pick.
enemy remaining.
And Squiddy getting another one. Floodgates opening for Troy here. Han able to get Squiddy there. Koiva reacting to it though. As well as Board. Now Khan taking out Koiva there. Bit of a scary situation. Oh, only 30 seconds. No spike. Board, and Spectre going to be holding the same B-side door, and Garrett holding the mid walk-in. And going to find Khan, trying to get back on that B-side, taking him out. Amazing by Troy. Love to see that. That shot by Squiddy, by the way, immaculate. We saw that flick, getting that initial pick on Azure, and then Koiva following up. Board getting one of his own. Squiddy going ahead and getting another one. Floodgates absolutely opening for Troy there. 100,000%. You love to see that. That aggressive defense, playing that pushed up defense, worked for them 1,000%. And I would say that one thing that attributes to that is that Messiah was not expecting that. They were not anticipating Troy to play a pushed up defense. So again, good way to catch Messiah off guard going into this attack here, Troy. Now, Garrett Squiddy
I'm out of here.
going into this A long. Khan watching, going to use that clone.
I'm out of here.
Just going to take Koiv out there. Khan taking
Last player standing.
Garrett. Spectre getting another one there. And I'm watching the kill feed as, again, as the floodgates open for Troy. The floodgates open for Messiah. Everybody down. And it was just an ineffective push in terms of where the defense was positioned. It's kind of the one thing you have to attribute to that. Because, again, when everybody is playing close to A or on A even, pushing A is going to be something that is just going to be difficult, right? So that's exactly what Troy was met with, that resistance. And again, not able to get any opening picks, unfortunately. So definitely that attributing to that loss. Coming back in here, though, on this defense, Spectre with the Odin in his hands, watching that mid window, but a very quick take of C here by Messiah, going to require a quick reaction by Troy here, and spraying through to the boxes, not able to get any damage there.
Spike
Spectre
planted.
getting aggressive here. Was Squiddy. Garrett able to get one. Koiva, Spectre. Koiva, another one. And now Young left all on his own. The same exact position that Board had to face him in. Koiva getting 3 there. Going to keep Troy in this. It feels like
You don't deserve.
a dysfunctional relationship almost. Troy comes in here, dominates around,
Switching sides.
and then goes back in and loses one. I mean, this overtime is going on for a while here. We're in an absolute brawl. I know this may not attribute directly to the round. I'm just going ahead and pointing this out. Oh my goodness. And my heart is racing. Especially when I saw that initial quick take of C. Troy going to have to do a 5-man retake
Coming back.
onto another 5-man defense. It was definitely scaring me, but played it absolutely immaculately, Troy did.
Out.
And go ahead and getting that defense win. Coming back into that attack, Troy looking again to want to do this A side push. What they'll find here, though, is that A is not as heavily defended, though definitely the side that Messiah is paying more attention to, with 3 playing on that A side. In sewers here, Spectre, Board. Now, looking there, just walking up. Board going to finish him off through the smoke. Give Troy that man advantage. I'm a bit curious as to what Just was thinking walking up through the smoke. That Board had placed, potentially looking for, or looking to catch them off guard, but
I have the spike.
to no avail. Now Troy, a little more to work with, as Messiah is forced to spread a bit thin their defense. Now coming onto this A long, Board is looking for who may be playing it. Aware that Lust is here with the smoke out, though.
Spike down.
Going to be picked off there. Koiva finishing him off, coming from that backside. Now Young going to take Garrett down in garage, but the plant going down here for Troy. Koiva, full HP, looking in to this garage entrance. And we see Azure there coming from the backside. Though Squiddy is in a good position to defend both the garage and the backside, though he is low still. And of course, Spectre positioned in this C long. Now Azure going to take Squiddy out there, taking out Koiva as well. And Young going to take Spectre out. Unfortunately, Troy not able to pull it together and hold that site,
Switching sides.
keeping us in this overtime. Oh my goodness. Curious to see how far we may go into this OT. Either way, though, talking about that round, exactly what happened there. Troy, unfortunately, not able to hold it down. And that is most certainly by every means unfortunate. Azure going and getting that pick on Squiddy while Squiddy was low. Following up with a pick on Koiva was Young. And then Spectre not able to hold from his position. And now that C long take going to be replicated here by Messiah. The smoke going down here, so Squiddy not able to have any line of sight onto the immediate take here. Ford looking to want to go into that backside.
Placing swarm grenade. Swarm grenade out.
And Squiddy, Koiva both playing this centered position. Koiva getting some shots there on Khan. Spike going down. And Troy fully prepared for the retake here as a team. Koiva here following up on the initial aggression there. Squiddy able to get one, Spectre another one. Caught off guard though.
Player standing.
Khan able to finish him off, getting one there. And Troy going down here on that defense. Unfortunate, not able to do the same style of retake that they had done
Switching sides.
beforehand
Match
with
point.
that other round where Messiah had taken that seaside quickly. And what that attributed to was just the inability to do that same intensity of initial aggression as we saw when they had took it before or retook it before. They had got Garrett, Squiddy in on the aggressive side, and though I believe Squiddy only had got one pick, Koiva was able to follow up on it with two of his own. So again, that had not happened there. Messiah playing it very effectively. Now Garrett getting aggressive here on this A side. We saw this before for Troy. Lust getting that initial pick, though getting traded away by Koiva.
Swarm grenade out. Placing swarm grenade.
Azure playing in the smoke here, getting two. Ford going,
Spike down A.
or Garrett going to get Khan there. Spectre all on his own here. And going to go down, unfortunately,
Defenders win.
to Messiah. Troy. Oh my goodness. This game was insane. Going into so much overtime. 43 kills for Lust, 34 on the board for Azure. We see here board with 34 of his own. Garrett 27 and 31. Koiva 27 and 28. Spectre 21 and 24. And